Okay, in this video, we're going to go over the next 3 flowing tips. So far we have talked about writing legibly and clear, talking about writing small, and using symbols. So our next flowing tip is to write words abbreviated. So you want to try to shorten your words as much as possible. And so this is where texting lingo can come in. Um, Instead of writing out a full word, you can shorten it. Um, Instead of writing United States of America, you could write USA. And so your goal is to abbreviate the words if you can. Now remember, everything you write down on your flow, you need to be able to read and understand later. So don't abbreviate things if you won't remember them in the future. Now, the more you flow, the more you'll be able to remember your abbreviated words, but you need to make sure that you're not writing things shorthand and then you're not able to understand them later. Maybe that means you create a key, or maybe that means you only at the start try to abbreviate things that you know you'll fully understand. So, tip 4 is abbreviate. The fifth tip is to don't write unimportant words. So, unimportant words are things like a, an, the, it, to, anything that you don't really need in a sentence to understand it. So, if I wrote United States America, it has the same meaning as if I wrote United States of America or the United States of America. By just writing United States America, it has the same meaning to me on paper, and it's way quicker because I'm cutting out those unimportant words. Now, if a phrase doesn't make sense without those unimportant words, definitely write in one or two. Every once in a while, I need to fill in and put a couple of those in. But as a general rule, you're trying not to write those unimportant words. Tip 6, and this one is tough. It's to write in all capitals. So we're not using lowercase letters. We're not using cursive because capital letters are just overall easier for somebody to read, and they tend to make your handwriting better by writing in all caps. Because we're not used to writing in all caps, our handwriting usually tends to be a little bit better. All capitals tend to have sharper edges as well, so they're easier for us to read. Now, this tip is going to slow you down. Usually, the other tips are intended to speed you up. This tip, from the start, it's going to slow you down. It's probably going to make you write less. But the more you do this tip, the easier it's going to get, the quicker you're going to be able to write, and the clearer your flow is going to end up being. So, all caps, I would just practice all caps by itself for a couple videos to get the practice just writing in all caps. And the first few times you're going to do it, you may end up like accidentally starting to write lowercase. That's okay. But as soon as you realize that that's happening, stop and try to start back again with your all caps. So you now know 6 of the tips. You're going to want to practice with 1 or 2 upcoming videos, and then you'll get your 7th tip after that. Remember that you should be practicing 2 or 3 tips at a time. So if you find that all caps is going to be really hard for you, but it's really easy for you to add symbols, maybe practice those 2 because you're getting practice on one you do feel comfortable with and one you don't. And your goal eventually will be to do all of the tips, but do not overwhelm yourself trying to do all of these things at once. Just try to go a couple at a time.